Hi Sagittarius, this is your forecast for the month of September 2017. If you have visited me before, thank you for returning, and if you are new, welcome. This is a general reading for Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Rising, or Sagittarius Moon. It might also be helpful for you to watch your rising and moon sign as well. You can join me on Facebook and Instagram for daily insights on tarot and astrology, as well as my pay-per-view channel, vimeo.com/thealchemistastrologer, where you can find on-demand pages with love, finance, and other readings. So Sagittarius, you start the first week off with a major card. And so you've probably been involved with something, you're closing out a cycle, you've reached the end of something, and hopefully for many of you there's a sense of triumph. You did it, you pulled it off, and you reached a goal, and perhaps there was a prize with that and you got that. But this is about a job well done and feeling some sense of success. For some of you, this closing out of a cycle includes some big changes. Maybe you're doing some traveling, maybe you're changing your job or your residence. Some of you are graduating from something and moving on to something else. So this could be a week where you focus on being an achiever, being a winner, and feeling a great sense of satisfaction in reaching your goals. Some of you are going to be involved with people at a distance, or perhaps in some international affairs, or you're dealing with foreigners, or you are dealing with people who come from a vastly different background than yours, whatever that may be. It could be culturally, ethnically, it could be religious, financial, social status, but you may be dealing with somebody who, is very different from where you're from. This is also a week about expanding yourself in big ways, expanding your horizons, which is a forte for Sagittarius. So you are closing out one cycle and starting something else, and you feel very enthusiastic about it. Now, if you're not ready to close out this cycle, if this is about some unfinished business that you need to take care of, you could feel a sense of stagnation this week. Your success is delayed. You're close, but you haven't completed the cycle. And so there may be some frustration attached to it. Something is still pending because there's some loose ends. It could be that there's been a lack of commitment on your part and you're just not finishing the things that you've started. Maybe you're unwilling to deal with change or face the future. You're resistant in some way. Or maybe you're just not applying yourself the way that you should, and therefore you're not getting the results that you want. But this may tie back to your memories, something to do with the past and that influence. You may be, going over the past and finding it very difficult to move on. And for you, it's going to be hard for you to let go of some bad habits or some emotional dependencies or codependent behavior, even though that is not working for you. This is a time of new beginnings if you get in the flow. So again, starting a new job, maybe you're changing the way you look, maybe you're taking on a new health routine, maybe you're just changing the way you think about things, and you recognize, the lessons that came with it. You can bless the people that brought the lessons to you and feel a sense of gratitude, and you can let go of some things and forgive yourself for what you may consider a mistake or poor judgment. So this is a time for you to release all of that this week so that you can get on the road to your happiness and create the ending that you want for yourself. And it begins by taking the initiative, taking the bull by the horns and being a self-starter. Now, you're going to get a good kickoff to your goals because this is going to be a week where you're going to have some very fortunate business, social, or romantic connections and some opportunities that are going to cross your path. And so if you're feeling enthusiastic about what you're doing, you feel motivated, you find a new sense of resolve to uphold this new approach to life that you're taking. So, if you wanted to kick a bad habit and you get into it this week, that might actually stick for you. You start your exercise routine and get in the flow, or you stop drinking or stop smoking or stop being in negative situations. So this is a week where you can feel really good about yourself and what you're doing. And because of that, you have a lot of influence and you can bring people that were previously perhaps working against you or disagreed with you. You find a way to diplomatically smooth that over and bring them to your side. So opportunity is going to come to you by making the most of your positive energy to attract a situation. So if you're operating in high vibration, you're attracting good things to yourself. And if you've had some difficulties, again, this could be a week where you close some things out, you manage to resolve something, and you make leaps and bounds with a situation, whether that was something financial, medical, legal, or otherwise. Now, if you're stuck in a rut, you're unable to move forward, you may try to push something. Maybe you're trying to go in a new direction, but you don't have enough impetus behind it. You're not quite motivated enough to fully make those changes. And for you, you may fall back on old habits and stay stuck in a rut. And if you start something, it's more than likely a half-hearted effort, and then it's not going to work out. No matter what kind of effort you put in or what you envision for yourself, if you don't align yourself properly, you're not going to make progress. But this is also a week of being realistic about what is within your grasp. It's about setting goals that are indeed achievable. So this is there's going to be a temptation perhaps for you to overextend yourself in some way. But this week, be careful about, spending too much money, pushing people too far, overstepping emotional boundaries. Because if you start to come up with some type of strategy or plan or scheme to make something happen, other people are going to pick up on that as well, and they're going to feel uncomfortable about you and your approach. So again, this is a week about enthusiasm, about closing something out that needs to be closed, coming full circle, extending, your horizons, but also setting a realistic goal. Now, this second week, there seems to be cause for celebration. So again, you closed a cycle out, you reached a pinnacle, you achieved a goal, and now it's time to drink and be merry and celebrate your accomplishments. So this could be a week where you're getting together with others, you're uniting with other people, perhaps in the community, maybe you're connecting to friends, maybe you traveled to get to these people. But there's some kind of hospitality taking place between others. Maybe you're getting assistance or giving assistance to other people, or you're attending some type of social function like a wedding, or maybe you've just changed your lifestyle in some way. But this is a week about sharing information, and some of you, maybe you're sharing that information with the world. Also, there could be a focus on healing, and especially toward, both the emotional and physical healing. But this is a week where you're going to be, having lots of exchanges, lots of dialogue with other people. You're sharing what you know and vice versa. So there are lots of opportunities for you to express yourself, for you to discuss your feelings, and for you to listen to other people. And again, if you're using the world in a positive manner and whatever you've been through, you're looking at it objectively, compassionately, and willing to forgive, then this could also be a week where you're able to smooth over any kind of misunderstandings or resolve any potential problems. And so you get to heal a situation if that's what's needed. You're going to be getting good information, people who are in the inside loop and are willing to share that knowledge with you. But something about this week says that you should be careful. You should check your timing before something and be very clear on the facts before you invest in information. Be careful about taking what somebody tells you just at face value without fully investigating whether it's true or not, especially if you feel emotional about a situation, because somebody close to you may not be totally forthcoming. Maybe they're embellishing the truth, maybe they're distorting the facts, or maybe they're divulging a secret that should have been, left under wraps. So this is also a week where you can get carried away with a situation too, and your imagination can make you believe that perhaps people are angry, that they're fighting over you, or that they're fighting with you, or that somebody is the end-all be-all to a situation, a dilemma, or the answer to your problems, or this is your dream person and you've got to connect to this person at all costs. So this is going to be a week where, based on information in those exchanges, there are going to be some changes that take place, some type of transformation. It could be that this is going to be a week of endings. Again, maybe you're happily closing something out, or maybe you're having to face the truth of something. Now, 3 cups sometimes can indicate a third party. So this could be a week where you may close something out because, you're involved in a situation where perhaps for a small percentage of you, there have been some issues of disloyalty or infidelity. Some of you, again, you're just coming together in order to share. Now, the third week, you have the 7 of Pentacles. And so maybe you did some traveling, or maybe you're waiting to travel. Maybe you're waiting to share some information that you've received, or perhaps you're in an assessment of this information that you've received. Some of you, you're assessing your health and well-being, but you are looking at what you've accomplished. You've come full circle in a situation, and now you're looking back over it and taking stock for what it's worth. Now, maybe you are reevaluating some type of project, or now there's a lull and you're looking back over something. For some of you, perhaps there were third parties and you're now thinking about choices that you have to make between something that is risky or something that is secure. So you, for whatever the reason is, you are really taking stock of your projects, your pursuits, your relationships, and wherever it is that you've been investing the majority of your time, your money, and your emotions. Now, if you were dealing with gossips last week, maybe you're looking back over that information to try to discern whether it's true. Or maybe you've been dealing with some people who waste your time, and you're thinking about that and really, taking stock of how you've been expending your energy and your resources. Now, for some of you, there were things that were said, and now you have a mutual respect for another person. Both of you have gained some respect based on a conversation that you've had. This may tie again to, the past. It could have to do with ancestry or social or racial differences. For some of you, there's been sharing of information perhaps through spirit messages. Maybe, somebody that has crossed over is contacting you. And in fact, it could be that you are reviewing something that has closed out or moved on, or somebody that you're no longer dealing with. It could be that based on what happened last week, if you were getting any negative feedback or any kind of resistance or confusing situations, even if they seem to be rather insignificant, that could have been the thing that broke the camel's back. It was the last straw, and now you're frustrated and possibly even taking your irritation out on other people. So maybe somebody said something that offended you, and you're still holding on to it. It's in your thoughts. You're nursing this grievance, or you're worrying about something, especially if you are concerned about someone else. You're worried about their earning potential or their sense of security, and you feel that may be in jeopardy. So you're taking stock and perhaps sharing your feelings about that. This could also be a time where you're realizing that if things have not been moving forward, and maybe you've been getting some misinformation about that, or you're sharing your feelings, trying to wrap something up, it could be time that you really take stock of your finances. Maybe there's some frustrating delays that you're having to contend with. Maybe something is not coming through. There's some delayed success, and you're waiting on something and trying to find out about it, and maybe you haven't even gotten correct information, and that's caused some kind of challenge or delay. So for you, this could be a week where you seriously need to consider some other means of additional income, or restructuring certain parts of your relationships that may not be working. Now, the fourth week, you have the Queen of Wands. This could very well be you. This is fire energy, or it could be another person. This is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or perhaps just the traits of this queen. So this is somebody who is focused on business success. She's very passionate about what she's involved with. She's using her leadership skills, and she's got a lot of charisma and magnetism to boot that helps her promote her causes. So whatever she's involved in, whether it's a business prospect, whether it's a relationship, she's very ardent about it. She's passionate, and you feel that warmth in your connection to her. She's, again, a good businesswoman. She's a protector. She's very dynamic and enterprising, and she's good at self-promotion. She's fiercely protective of her causes, her projects, and her relationships. And she's very optimistic. She sees herself as a winner. She knows how to, again, use her assets, draw upon her intuition, and she enjoys competition. She enjoys life. There's a lust for life. She loves money, and she is intent on her desires, and there's a lot of passionate expression. So this could be a week where, again, your imagination is full on. You're feeling as if anything is possible. Your creativity is flowing. There's a sense of playfulness. Maybe you're trying to start something. So, for you, this could be a week of excitement and trying to influence the situation to go your way. Now, if there were issues of infidelity, whether this is you or someone else, this is the queen that is most likely to be a mistress because she's so comfortable with her sexuality. Now, in the negative, this is somebody who is a dangerous schemer. And we go back to that Three of Cups and people who are gossiping or embellishing the truth or letting secrets out of the bag. So this could be somebody who is being jealous or vengeful, or they feel more important than they really are. And her behavior could be coming out in ways, like being catty or malicious or overly dramatic. Now, it could be the opposite. Maybe she's frustrated in her ambitions. Maybe she's not claiming her power. And again, she can indicate infidelity in some way. But more than likely, if this is negative, she's somebody who has some unbridled ambition, and she's a ruthless competitor. She doesn't mind manipulating a situation. She's unyielding. She's temperamental. And, if this is female oriented, she may even have a disdain for male authority. So this is a week where pride can interfere with somebody being objective. So either this is a week where you're feeling very excited, very motivated, you're very determined about a situation, or there's just a lack of action. There's more fantasy than anything else. This could be a week where you really want to be recognized. You've been waiting for recognition. You've been waiting to share your feelings, and you want to be noticed. You want to be appreciated. And again, this is a week where your mojo could be on. You've got a lot of romantic power and attraction, and you're pulling people in. So this is a week where you're going to have a wide variety of people that are interested in you, whether that is professionally or on a romantic level. And it's likely that you're going to be connecting with people who get you stimulated, motivated, excited, enthused about life, because your goals and your personalities complement each other, and you both are ready for change, for adventure, to make some things happen. But for others of you, there's a lull, a snag you hit. Maybe you said something, a while back, maybe the wrong thing, or maybe somebody rubbed you the wrong way, and then there was a lull in action, and now you're kind of thinking about it. Maybe you're even turning your back on this Queen of Wands, or somebody is turning their back on you because somebody has gone out of their way. They've tried too hard. And remember, the world, it was also about knowing when not to overstep boundaries, pushing people too far, saying the wrong thing, or coming up with a scheme where people are sort of stepping back and thinking once again about whether it's a good connection. So you may alienate somebody this week, somebody that you wanted to pull to your side, by simply trying too hard, or you're dealing with that. But in the positive, this is about somebody who is influencing a situation through their charm, their magnetism, their power of influence, and by drawing up on all of their assets in order to make something happen. Now, the underlying energy is this Two of Cups. So this is going to be a month of dealing with your colleagues, partners, friends, lovers. It's about making connections, attraction to other people, and coming together for mutually beneficial exchanges. For those of you who were focused on healing in some way, this could be about finding emotional balance, or perhaps there's a need to repair some relationships, especially if there have been some indiscretions taking place this month. So again, this is about establishing some type of rapport, perhaps a business deal or a contract, some type of an agreement you're trying to close out. If there have been issues that needed to be smoothed over, you'll be focused on ending some hostilities, again, repairing your relationships. For some of you, maybe you're getting engaged or married, or, you're taking your relationship to the next level. There is a desire for something, though, a temptation that some of you are feeling toward a person or some situation that you desire. There could be issues of lust, of seduction, fantasies, and for some of you, some unexpected encounters. Now, in the negative, This is about perhaps an ex or somebody who has violated your trust. And again, remember that Three of Cups, somebody who is embellishing the truth or distorting things or releasing a secret. It could be somebody that's simply taking without giving. And so the relationship is lacking balance. So for those of you whose desires are being thwarted, you may decide to end a relationship. There could be issues where somebody's giving again and not getting back, feeling as if there's an unrequited love, or withdrawing the love, or maybe some of you will be dissolving a contract or an agreement, or there are issues where you've been incompatible and so there's trouble in the relationship leading to infidelity or disagreements or resentments, and for some of you possibly divorce. Now, for some of you, we had talked about spirit messages. Maybe this is connected to the departure of a loved one in some way. But this is going to be a month that focuses on how attached you feel to something or someone. And that is either going to increase or decrease because you are taking stock. You're taking an assessment of what you're putting into something and what you're getting out of a situation. So this is going to be an emotional month for you. And there are going to be some changes that occur. And the positive is that you're going to have the opportunity to repair something, to clarify it, to improve it. And so you're going to be able to get a better handle on a situation that allows you to honor your commitments more efficiently. You only have one major card, and this is the World card. However, if that Queen of Wands is not you, then this means that somebody outside of you may influence the outcome of a situation. Again, it's going to center around your partnerships, and there's possibly a focus on your work or your productivity or how creative you are. So for many of you, this is going to be a month where you get to relax and enjoy yourself. Maybe you've worked long and hard at something. You've put down a solid foundation, and now it's time for you to rest, to recuperate, and for you to focus on the more emotional side of life. So you may be relaxing. Maybe you're spending time with your family, your friends, and you're finding yourself in a more supportive environment or atmosphere. For others of you, somebody is trying to come up with a strategy of divide and conquer. Somebody is taking a situation and, they're putting their own particular brand of law and order in a situation. They're inserting their will into it. And so there could be a lot of differing opinions. There could be, some confrontation, some debate taking place. And while all of this is going on, somebody is on the sidelines waiting for an outcome, and they're suffering in the process. All right, Sagittarius, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.